The Hungarians, they really deserve to play semi-finals after, if I'm not wrong, correct me, 12 years.
I really like how Elver plays. I think she's been really stepping up in this championship. She's been really good.
And it's always good to be challenged because then you're looking what could be better in upcoming matches. So I think this game had a really good timing for them.
Ball across to Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Ooh, into the net.
She does it again!
Yes! Van Dijvenberg are the champions of Europe! To come up with something here, she has a game! Surprise the keeper! What a comeback!
And then, ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time to talk handball again. We went from 24 down to 12, down to 6 or maybe even 4, because we know the fellas that are traveling to Vienna with us. And of course, we need the pure ball knowledge to talk about it. And of course, we would want to have the handball knowledge of the Women's Handball Conference 2024 in here. But I'm afraid to say anything else because she has the black belt in karate, ladies and gentlemen. Andrea Lekic, how's it going?
I mean, thank you very much. This was the best introduction so far. I love it.
Nice.
I mean,
nice.
Everything is really going well. I'm in Vienna and I'm really enjoying the atmosphere. It's great and looking forward to seeing you guys.
Looking forward to that too. And she might not have the black belt of karate, but she brings in the deadly shot straight from Slovenia. She is back from Thailand, freshly relaxed, ladies and gentlemen. Ana Gros, how are you?
Good, thank you. As you can see, not really tanned, but it's okay. I still was in Thailand. You don't need a proof.
You just still have
It
to
looks
tell
like
your skin
I was
that
on
you were there.
I was in Thailand, no?
By your tan,
Fair
yes.
enough, but is it basically just your skin type that just doesn't get tanned at all?
I mean,
It's true,
when
yeah.
we're in
I
Vienna,
mean, it
Vienna,
does
I
get
mean-
red. It does get red, not tanned. So, but I was really careful. So.
I mean, our fellow friend Martin Vilstrup, he should take a slice off of you there because he's always sunburned whenever he comes back from the beach. But that's some other topic. Let's start it off straight away here because, Anna, we got to start the talks with today's game of Slovenia. They lost to Germany with 19 goals. So what was up with Slovenia today?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was not the best day. I think the worst of them all in this championship, as you could see. And I think Germany is really a team that it's not really, how to say, lying good with Slovenia. I mean, like, also in the Olympic Games, we had really trouble. We also lost 19 goals. And I think it's just a way of playing and their defense, which is very, very aggressive. Very high, so I think it's just not corresponding us very well. I mean, our type of handball. So, yeah, this is what was shown today as well. And also, I have to say, I think the girls were really tired already. And then to play against this kind of team, which is very aggressive, it takes a lot of your energy even more. So, yeah, I think it was also that, unfortunately.
So losing to Germany twice with 19 goals, we for sure know now that you won't ever wear the number 19.
That's for sure not.
Fair. But on the other hand, Germany, they let's pull a conclusion for Germany's tournament here as well. Because especially after today's victory over Slovenia, Andrea, do you reckon they will go home with a smiling face due to today's success, or will they go home with a disappointed one for not making it to Vienna?
I mean, it's better to finish the tournament with a victory, but I'm sure that they're not satisfied with this tournament overall. I'm convinced, and I can understand the frustration. I mean, they are aiming from year to year. They are aiming to somehow reach, let's say, semi-finals or like a better position. But now we still don't have that amazing tournament from Germany. So the question would be no. I'm sure that they're not satisfied.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, enough of the talks of the teams that didn't make it, because we do have our teams that actually are going to Vienna. So 6 teams are traveling: France, Hungary, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and the Netherlands. Deserved after all?
Yes, I think so. I think it's deserved by them all totally. So yeah, I think it was also somehow expected. from my side, Hungary, what I predicted, I was totally right. So, I mean, I said they will win a medal. Still possibility they will not, but they're having a great chance. So, yes, I'm not really surprised by all the teams that went to Vienna. They're going to Vienna, so, yeah.
Andrea, any surprise in there for you?
I mean, I was not so sure about Hungary. I wish them all the best, and I wanted them to be among 4 teams, and I'm really happy for them. They really deserved it. I mean, the nation, as Hungarians, they really deserve to play semi-finals after, if I'm not wrong, correct me, 12 years. So the last time was 2012 in Serbia. So, I mean, it's a huge success, and I'm honestly very happy for them. And I really also expect some great results in next 2 matches. So I think also as Ana as me, we are wishing them to win a medal.
Some great results in the next 2 matches. Well, I am going to ask you later on about that take again, but I'm having that in mind, that's for sure. Yeah, and there was a decisive game just today, not on who makes it to Vienna, because, well, Denmark and Netherlands, both of them were qualified already for Vienna, but the question was just in what position. One of them was going to go to the 5th place match, and the other one was going to qualify for the semi-final. And Netherlands, they did look brave in that matchup, especially like around the break. They were down 2 goals and came out of the locker room with huge confidence. So immediately started defending very offensively. They weren't necessarily rewarded. So a 2-minute suspension right after the break, and after that they didn't find the way back into the game. Ana, do you reckon it was the right mindset to come out of that locker room being, maybe even a little over-motivated?
I would not say over-motivated, but for sure, it's when this kind of thing is in play, like semi-finals, you give everything what you got, you try everything. So I think there's not a thing that you get over-motivated. Of course, you still need to play smart, but I would say, that they were fighting for sure, but it's unfortunately just wasn't enough for them.
Yeah, I mean, they had a long time where they have been behind by just 1 goal, actually, but never really put Denmark in danger of running behind. So Denmark was always in control. Eventually just one size too big for the Netherlands, Andrea?
I mean, I was in the arena, so I felt the atmosphere somehow. And I didn't feel in the second half time that Netherlands were close to Denmark. So for me, and I think for the most of spectators, somehow we could see all the clear idea of Denmark. They really knew what they were doing. Also in the attack, they were really precise, and they were attacking a weak sides of Netherlands. So for me, especially last 20 minutes, I mean, they were not close. Also with the fighting spirit, of course, everyone wants to go to semis. It's not even a question, like Ana said. But somehow Denmark is a team who deserves more than Netherlands in this moment.
Yeah, and especially talking about the Dutch attack. So we had Jona Hauscher with like 10 goals in 10 attempts. It was a great game from her. But then in the meantime, not enough coming from the rest. Ana, what do you think?
Yes, it's exactly this. You could completely see that it's just coming from her, and she didn't have, let's say, a feedback from the other teammates. So then that's a problem. You're still 6 on the field plus the goalkeeper, and like I said, you cannot win yourself the game. So she needed more players to be in a good day, and that was just not enough to win against a team like Denmark, where they had a lot of players in a good day, and everyone stepping up, and it was just totally a different play from them. I mean, more team play from Denmark, let's say.
Yeah, it absolutely was, and that's why they do go to Vienna to the semi-final deserved. What do you expect from the Netherlands in the future? I mean, they have been close in almost all the tournaments that they've been playing lately, but it seems that the final step is missing a little bit. Andrea, where do you see the Netherlands, let's see, in the next Olympic cycle?
I mean, I'm not sure if I can answer this question with some, let's say, clear vision from my side, because in one way we are not having Polman and Dolfer now in this championship, and I think Netherlands really miss them. That's my point of view watching them throughout this championship. I think they have for sure some young players who like stepped up on the stage, but I think still it's not enough. But they have a high pressure for the next year, because they're playing home championship. I mean, it's, as you know, when you play at home, you have to be the best as you can. So I mean, but we'll see what Netherlands is going to show us in the next years.
What you guys can see right now is that Andrea actually went for a deep dive, so she's under the water right now. All right, our deep diver from Serbia is back, and then we can go on here. Denmark, on the other hand, they arrive in Vienna now as the semi-final. Thank you for that. Denmark right now arrives in Vienna as the semi-finalist. Anna, in which role does Denmark arrive? So are they in their comfortable favorite spot, or are they a little bit of underdogs here as well?
They're gonna play France, right?
No. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Denmark against France.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. I was watching France, and I have to say I was not so impressed. I think this competition, honestly, even though maybe against Sweden they had their, let's say, best match, I would say. Then against Hungary was also good, but I don't know. Like I think their game is really up and down. So I would not really consider Denmark here underdog. I would say it's quite the same. So I think that game will be really interesting. And even though on the paper maybe France is still the favorite, but I would say they have equal chances.
I would completely agree. I mean, I would give France slightly advantage, of course, because of everything what they did. But still, like Anna said, I mean, but that's France also. Like on many tournaments, we saw that France is not playing amazingly during the group phases. And I would, of course, go for them, that they will win in this one. But somehow, I also think that Denmark didn't show their best still, like Anna said. So it's going to be a really interesting match. I know that, of course, the other group was really fighting for that first place, wanted to avoid Norway, as completely expected. So somehow I do think that, yes, I will stay with France a bit. And they're not a complete underdogs.
One Danish woman who actually did perform to her best today in the matchup against the Netherlands was Anna Christensen. So I do feel like she carried Denmark to that victory, and she carried Denmark into the semi-final. Eventually, I think it was 15 saves, and she ended up at 38% of saving rate. Andrea, you were in the arena, so do you think that she can repeat that, that performance once again in the semifinal?
I do, yes, definitely I do. I mean, she's constant during this tournament. She's really good, and I think she feels good. And they have pretty good cooperation. I was watching that because I was there. They're really cooperating very well with the defense. She had a good feeling how much block is covering, so they're really functioning. She's depending on the block, and I think it depends a lot of Denmark defense and how they function, but they really rely on each other. So I do think that she's able to repeat the performance.
And on the other hand, how do you feel about the Danish attack coming out of the main round?
Yes, I think their attack is working really well. I think I really like how Elver plays. I think she's been really stepping up in this championship. She's been really good. She's for sure one of the main players, I think, who is keeping their attack, their flow. And there is also Højlund, and there is also Anne Mette Hansen. Like, they're all really strong one-against-one players. And of course they have very fast wings, so I think in general their Danish attack is always working well. Of course, I think they lost quite a lot with Iversen getting injured. She's been this really good line player, giving also a little bit of spice in their game, if I can say it like that. But all in all, I think I'm not so worried about their attack. It's working quite good.
Yeah, especially talking about those injuries that they had. So you did talk about Sarah Iversen, Althea Reinhardt. She needed to leave here as well. How much will these injuries hurt Denmark, Andrea?
For sure, it's not easy to put one extra player in this moment, and I know, and they don't have let's say, a huge rotation in the middle defenders, like in the middle of the defense. But still, I do think that when it comes to the semis, you really use all your power. Then sometimes it doesn't mean if one player is missing. I think that team unites and gets even more, like, let's say, even stronger. We had a lot of examples like this in the past, so I don't think that they're thinking about that, but rather how to find a solution. And I was watching the match, and I mean, they are already, you can see that this team is functioning really well together. And they're following the system, and for me, everything looks fine and in the control.
And that is what Jesper Jensen is seeing in them as well. And that's why he doesn't even want to bring in a new player for the injury. I was actually super interested in seeing that. Anna, what's your opinion on that call?
Honestly, I'm not at all surprised, because I think the Danish, they are just made like that. They have one system, they believe in it till the end. So if these players were playing together since a long time, were training together, preparing not just for this championship but also previous, it's just what they believe in, and you can also see that directly on how they are playing. I don't know, for example, 7 against 5, it's always, even though they're getting like 2 goals on empty goal, they will still continue to play it, So I think it's all in general their culture, handball culture, to just believe in their system, in their players, till the end. So I'm not really surprised with that he didn't take anyone else.
And now they are facing France. We did have that topic a little bit already. But Anna, you already say that they stand even chances in that semi-final. Andrea, after that, in the meantime, close matchup. It wasn't really super close, so they were always in the lead. But does Denmark need to change anything to improve their chances ahead of that French matchup? Or do you say, they just work perfectly fine when they play their game? Denmark is in a good spot to reach the final. You know
how it goes on these championships. You don't have really much time to change many things like in next 2 days. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to change, but I do like Jesper's system and the way how he leads the game. I was watching today, and he took a perfect moment for a timeout, by my opinion, and he killed the game at that moment. And I do think that Jesper is really a good guy for that team, and he's doing really well in last few years. So I do think that they have all the options possible already in their pockets. I mean, he's just gonna take something, let's say, from there, and they are completely ready and safe with everything what they have.
Is it a benefit that he's now only coaching Denmark, so that he retired from his Esbjerg tasks, Anna?
Yes, I would say so. I think for sure now he's even more focused on the national team. He has more time, probably even before, to evaluate, to see what's happening with all the players, and so for sure, he can concentrate more, and I think it's much easier for him, for sure.
Fair enough. Let's look over to their opponents in the semi-final. France secured the group victory in a tight clash against Hungary. There were uncommonly many mistakes in that game by France. Would you say that France was, for the first time, really challenged in this tournament, Andrea?
I mean, yes, if you look like that, for the first time they had a tougher game. Yes, I would say like this. But it was also the moment when France didn't have many saves and they're used to have in the last matches. So as we know, we really depend on the goalkeepers. That was not the best day. Laura, I would say, in the first half time, and they were really in a lack of 5-6 saves, their defense was on the best one. And on the other side, we have Semere, who is really outstanding in this tournament, and that was, let's say, the biggest difference, especially in the first half time. So, and it's always good to be challenged, because then you're looking what could be better in upcoming matches. So I think this game had a really good timing for them, and I'm sure that definitely they will not do the same thing what they did now against Hungary.
Do you guys think there is someone that they specifically learned out of that matchup against Hungary for the upcoming tasks?
I think it's the biggest difference was the number of saves in the beginning. So for sure, I mean, Denmark is having a really amazing game, let's say, in attack. So I do think that the French defense is going to try to cut the flow of Denmark attack. And I do think that number 2 and number 5 in defense are going to be pretty aggressive, as they love to do, as we know how France played. And I think that's going to be their biggest strength now in the match, because we all know how France can play defense. That's their, like, the best side of the game, I would say. And together with Laura, who was really good on this tournament, I do think that they are going to rely on that.
And now they do go into that semi-final being completely flawless. They are unbeaten up until now. I was wondering, is there an extra motivation coming in from that fact, or doesn't it matter at all? So what's past is past, and the only thing that counts is the semi-final now.
I think yes. I think now this is totally a new game, and semi-finals. It's sometimes even tougher again than the game than the finals. So it's like I think for all the teams, it's gonna be. Everything is forgotten. Now it's just all in for the medal, and no matter what happens. So I think it's very open, and I think it's gonna be we're gonna see two great semifinals.
That is for sure. Is there anything that Denmark can already learn from the matches that France has already played, where they need to focus on to break that almost perfect French defense? Andrea, were you able to spot some things throughout the tournament?
That's going to be tough. I mean, it really depends on the tactic, what Jesper is going to prepare. It's hard to predict now, but I do think that they need to avoid being stopped many times, because this is really exhausts the players. We know we don't like being fouled many times especially in the single attack, and that's French favorite thing to do. So I do think that the Denmark has to function extremely well and precise, because French wings, as we all know, are outstanding in helping the defense and playing really amazing pressing. So I would pay attention definitely on that.
Will be interesting whether Jesper Jensen maybe even listens to that podcast and to your words here, but he will probably go into the analysis as well. Let's look over to the other semi-final. In that matchup, we saw Hungary, who really stood strong after a weak start into the game. So they were down by 4 goals, I think. It was 4-0 when Hungary finally started scoring. And even in the 22nd minute, they took their second timeout already to even get a foot into the door. Andrea, what happened when Hungary finally got a hang of the game?
You know, we need to go like a few months earlier, why Hungary is like playing so well now and why the self-confidence is there. I mean, they played a great Olympics tournament, and I think they finally do believe in each other. When you arrive to that stage that you believe in your teammates and yourself, everything gets easier. It's not easy to arrive there, but when you are there, everything is, as you said, they were losing the match. Everything gets much easier because you do know that you have this ability to come back. And they also play against France during this national team break. I mean, they were really good. They played outstanding matches. So I think they are completely capable of having a good result. Coming to a semis, they already did amazing job. I mean, we can say that a bit of a pressure is off from their shoulders, but still, everyone wants a medal, and especially historical medal. So I do think they don't have that high pressure in that semi-final playing against Norway. Of course, we all know who is Norway and how they play, but I am convinced that Hungary is going to show us a great performance.
For sure they will. So they will come in with the full force. But especially, those 2 early timeouts, they were really surprising to me. How do you feel on the court when your coach is taking his second timeout in the first half already, Anna?
Yeah, depends. How do you feel? Depends how the game is going, of course. But if it happens, normally it's because you play bad, of course. But sometimes it's also good, because then you have really time to breathe, to just like, okay, now it's time to make a click and just start all over and forget what happened and just continue, with better playing, with just being more focused, and that's it, So sometimes these timeouts, they do help, and to clear your head and just continue. So it's not more. Of course, when if a coach screams in the timeout or something, then that can be a problem. But sometimes it also can heat you up, and then also the team gets even more fired up and it continues to play better. Of course, so depends how the coach reacts.
Yeah, fair enough. But they did end up going out and played with that confidence that you have just been talking about, Andrea. Is there a way for a coach to teach that confidence? Does it need to grow in the team, or does it just have to be there and there's nothing you can do about it?
I mean, it's of course a skill, and second thing, it's a combination. I mean, you need to find the right thing for each player. If you want to give a team result, we need to act. He needs to be a true leader, of course. There is no team which is functioning in getting a self-confidence out there from nothing. So, I mean, he showed that with this group of, let's say, very young players, we can say like that, but they're already having some experience behind them. They gain they are now on the level that I think Hungary was aiming for, like in last 10 to 12 years. They are really investing a lot in women's handball. So, I mean, that's finally time for like a payback time for Hungarian handball. So, of course, it's a huge influence of a coach, but there is also this cohesion between the players.
And it looks great. So went down to a flawless tournament up until now. So up until that matchup against France. But they won't catch any bad feelings out of that defeat, will they?
No, I don't think so.
They will not.
So. No, that's like we said, it's semi-finals, so they already forgot about it. They are now totally focused on Norway. That's for sure.
Yeah, and one player that will actually end up might having to put the team in her backpack once again is Katrin Kläuber. So she did end up becoming the MVP in that match, I think, as well. She is carrying the team in the right back position. Most goals scored, second most assists in the team. How is she carrying that much responsibility for Hungary, even though she's just 25? She seems a lot older when she steps on the court.
I mean, she's already there for some years, and she has to be the leader of the team. I mean, that's her role there, and it's pretty simple indeed. Looking her like I'm playing with her and sharing the locker room. For me, it's just natural because all the players are like, let's say, younger from her. She's the most experienced, and she has the role to score. But also the team is working for her, and that's very important. So team knows who is gonna use the assists. So I think they are having just a very good game also, like aiming for her to score. We cannot like eliminate the effort of a team for her like goals, so I think they are all aware what is their like biggest strength.
A little bit of a give and take there when it comes down to her performing to her best level. But she is doing some good for the team, that is for sure. And they will need it when they face Norway because, Andrea, you have been in the arena today and Norway demonstrated impressively what they are capable of doing today. They beat Switzerland by a huge margin. Was it a warm-up for the upcoming semi-finals for Norway?
I mean, we were joking today, there is no Stina and there is no Mora, then they bring sisters Dela, and then you're like, okay, where the like last few years the sisters were not there, and now it's like suddenly they are there, they fit perfectly in the team. No. They are playing all outstanding. We are just amazed. It's the system, what they have created, it's outstanding. It's just a pure joy watching them. Even this, we were always joking, like they never get tired. They're just smiling, scoring, doing this. That's it, This is how it looks like, watching them. But really, I mean, it was a training, but I was listening also to Tori when he said, like, we need to make the perfect combination of the players who are playing and resting. So it's very important to still have them in a balance and to have them active and also to give them some time to rest. But I mean, until now, they have shown the best performance in the tournament.
And I mean, the main responsibility would still remain in the hands of Henny Reistad, or Anna. What do you say?
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's true that maybe we haven't seen her so much, let's say, now during this group stage and main round. like we maybe expected somehow, but I think it's totally planned, of course, because the coach knows that he needs her for these important games, and it's totally fair to give her rest as much as he can. But she will step up. I'm no doubt about it. She will be the main wheel, and to take everybody with her. And yeah, she's just great. No matter how much she plays, it's still her. And for sure, we're gonna see great performance from her side.
She's right now 13 goals behind the current top scorer, Tjasa Stanko. 11 goals behind Katrin Kloiber, who is still in the tournament. But then the next one would be Henny Reisat. Well, Natalie Hagman, she does play only one more game. Henny has 2 left. Is there a chance for her to still take the crown, Andrea? You're laughing about it.
I could see this question coming. I mean, counting the goals. I mean, there is. I'm not doubting even in that. I mean, we saw her playing outstanding handball, and for us on the court, it looks like whenever she wants to score, like Ana says, like, you know, she can score it, because such a physical dominance that she could even play with the guys. And I do think that they would have some issues playing with her. So I would never say no to this question. But I also do think that if Katie Kluiber is going to play a great match against them, then it's really going to be hard to catch her. I mean, I think Hen is also not thinking honestly about that. I mean, she's so dominant this year in the Champions League scoring. I think she's like, maybe someone else could also score in the national team. I would give them more balls.
Yeah, I mean, she showed what she is capable of doing within one match when it came down to the bronze medal match last year in the Champions League, where she scored a ridiculous amount of 13 goals. To be fair, it could have been 26, but there was a woman named Nora Merck who scored 13 herself. So yeah, maybe that 26 will come this year. But yeah, we will see where that one will end up. You have been talking about the Dela sisters. Stine Skøgrand is part of that backcourt here as well. And Tale Dela together with Henny Reistad. They're having a great tournament themselves too. Anna, how strong do you rate the Norwegian backcourt right now?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, like I can just say they are strong, and I think everyone who is coming in is just doing great, you know. Of course, now they are coming the big games, but it's just like, it's crazy, you know. Today I was watching, against Switzerland, but it was just like the third lineup, and there was like Bakkerud and like Andrea said, the Dela sisters, you know, and it's just crazy, you know, how many changes they have, and everyone who comes, it's just like so hard even to stop, because they are all like so strong. You know, it's just crazy, you know. Physically, they are so dominant above everyone, and it's just a really typical like Norway play.
Absolutely. And typically for Norway, it would be to win that tournament. So we have our 4 semi-finalists in France, Norway, Denmark, and Hungary. At first, I want to know what's the final gonna be, and at second, of course, who's winning it. Anna, you may start.
Oh.
Easy questions for you to towards the end of the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say the final's gonna be still Norway-France, I think. And who's gonna win it? I think it's gonna be Norway.
You think it's gonna be Norway? I am just thinking about what you said ahead of the tournament. Wasn't it you who said France is gonna take it home?
Yes, maybe I did, but maybe I changed my mind. I can change my mind.
You can. It's just interesting that you're backing off right in front of the semifinal.
I mean, what did you say before the tournament? Can you remind me?
I said France is winning, and I am dying on that hill. So I'm still having France as the champions.
Oof, I'm like Anna now.
You're like Anna now?
This tournament, I'm changing my opinion. I mean, it's so hard to predict, you know. It's pretty funny. We can go to extra time now. This time I would go for that one, and then I will put my bonus play on Norway, bonus ball on Norway.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, This time I go now because I don't know. I'm just impressed on this tournament. Probably also our expectations were not so high. Let's say without Stine and Nora, we were also like expecting. We wanted to see how they're gonna play, but system is a system. It had been proven so many times, and they are just like amazing example of that.
Fair enough. Who are they gonna play in the final?
France. I do think that they will play against France.
Alrighty, so we all agree on the final, France against Norway. But yeah, we'll see how that one will end up. And when we're talking about who's winning it, we can switch over to the All-Star team here as well, presented by LIDL. Just on Thursday, 12 p.m., you guys can vote your All-Star team of the Women's EHF Euro 2024 in the official Home of Handball app, including the best young player presented by LIDL. Well, I am sitting right in between two women who are part of the expert group, and of course we are going to put up our personal all-star team presented by LIDL here. Well, since Andrea, you are the queen of the center back and you can play on the left side as well, you are getting the left side of the court, and Anna, of course, I'm getting you the right side of the court, but you're getting the best defender to it. So we start from left to right. I'm doing the goalie and the best line player, and maybe in the end we can agree on the best young player presented by LIDL. So Andrea, you may start. Who's going to be the left wing of the tournament?
I would go for Valentini. I mean, she's really dominant and I like how she plays, and I really think that she's outstanding player, so I would go for her. On the left back, I have let's say, I would need maybe a small help if it's allowed, because I'm joking. I think that Gina is playing outstanding after an injury. I mean, we didn't see her shining for already quite a while, but next to her, it's hard to pick because Tjaša Stanko is having outstanding tournament. I mean, I have never seen her playing like this, and I'm simply amazed. I would maybe give a slightly advantage to Gina because really she's not playing that much attack in her club, and then she came here, she took all the weight on her shoulders, and she played really outstanding. And then on the middle back, I would go for Reichstadt still. Yeah, definitely that would be my choice. I do believe that she's going to be on another right back on the middle back position. I'm almost sure that Hen is going to be selected there, not as a left back, because she can play both positions indeed. But
yeah, fair enough. She is nominated on the center back position and not on the right back position here. So you guys out there can vote for her. And the right back of the tournament will be not Ana Gros, but she can tell us.
I think it will be Kluiber. I think it's a no question. So yeah, we already talked about her before. So she's been very, very good throughout all the tournaments, and I think probably the most deserved. But let's wait. Then for the right wing, that's a really hard choice, honestly, because there have been many. I mean, there are in every position there are very good players, but. There are like small things that decide, I think, in these things, but I would still go with Lekic. I think she's been also very consistent and playing a lot, and I think she's been also great in this tournament. And then for a defender, I'm so happy you chose me for a defender, though, because you must say Ana Gros is never defending, so good that at least this I can decide, you know.
So guys, I don't know if you're gonna follow Ana Gros by this.
Yeah, well, but I mean, then you're the best to talk about it because you always have the look from the outside.
That's true. I would have to go with honestly with Fopa, because I don't know, I just really like how she steals the balls in front of the players. It's really annoying though when you're playing against her, but I think she really developed in defense. I mean, she's been good defender all the way also before, but I think now with the more confidence and even more experience, she got really good. So I would go with Fopa.
And the best defender, can she win 2 nominations for the All-Star team? Because, well, I wanted to put her on the best line player too. I
think she can. Why not? But I have to point out someone who I've been really impressed with is this Schmidt, Swiss player. She's really been amazing. I know maybe she's still young and everything, but she's been really good in this tournament. So yeah.
All right, convinced.
I'm impressed.
Then let's put Tabea Schmid as the best line player here. But in the goal, I personally chose Sophie Semere because she didn't go into the tournament as the expected number one, at least not for me. But she really forced her way into that Hungarian goal and had outstanding performances throughout the whole tournament. Maybe we can just leave out the last matchup against France a little bit because she had to work her way into that game, but she even managed to do that. So I do think that she would be a deserved goalkeeper in the all-star team presented by LIDL. When we're talking about LIDL presentations, then we gotta talk about the best young player here. There were a couple of young players who actually stood out there. Andrea, was there one that especially caught your eye?
I mean, I know a lot of young players now, but this year I didn't expect such a performance from Boychuk, a Romanian.
Mm-hmm.
So being 19 years old, carrying the team pretty well in this competition, I mean, that's really young. So being 19 and having a really good role throughout this tournament, I was somehow really positively surprised. I think we are going to see some great matches from her in the future.
Alicia Boychuk, someone you could arrange on, Anna, or do you have another name in mind?
Yeah, of course, there is still Shimon. She's been also really good. She's a really important player also in the Hungarian team. She's someone who we were keeping eye on since even before the tournament, and she didn't prove us wrong, or she did prove us wrong, or no, she didn't prove us wrong. So yeah, I think she's someone who is a really good candidate for that title as well.
I mean, for me, that's already normal. How to tell you? I don't know, because now I'm used to it. How to tell you? I'm there. I think that somehow she is fulfilling our expectations, and I cannot anymore. I'm just super surprised, let's say, from Boychuk.
Fair enough. That's the point where I would say we'll leave it open for you guys to put your vote in the official Home of Handball app. The voting opens Thursday, 12 p.m. and will end Saturday at midnight, so the night from Saturday to Sunday. Just make sure to download the Home of Handball app and then put in your votes. That's where I would say I'm stoked to see you guys in Vienna. So, Anna, when is your flight going?
I'm coming with car. I'm not so far away, so I'm coming.
Yeah, fair enough. So when is your car going?
My car is going tomorrow evening, so that means I'm gonna be there late night Thursday.
All right, fair enough.
So we can dive together.
Yeah, you guys can go down on a deep diving tour. Sweet, great. That's where I would say we dive our way out of this podcast right now. So there is a lot of action coming in this weekend. Make sure to tune in wherever you guys are at. Just check out your local broadcaster, and if there is none, you guys can tune into EHF TV. All the matches will be on there, commentated, and we will be back with live shows from the at first the Friday, so the fifth place match and the both of the semifinals. We will be live on Instagram and YouTube, so make sure to tune in on EHF EURO and YouTube Home of Handball, so right where you are at right now. And on the other hand, media call on Saturday, final day on Sunday, so it will be a great weekend, and then we will hear each other again this weekend when it's time to talk handball again, everybody.
Ball across to Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Into the net.
She does it again.